Als meisje van 14 danste ik al op de vrijdagmiddagen op het Stratumseind op platen als Crazy on You, Magic Man, Alone. En nog steeds ben ik hartstikke blij als ik die platen weer hoor. Voel ik me ook helemaal empowered. Ja, hard. Ann Wilson, met name die stem, de voice of Ann Wilson. Wat heeft dat met jou gedaan, Mike?
Toen ik als klein mannetje bij de radio zat en ik nam al de hitparades op, kwamen natuurlijk die singeltjes voorbij. En dat waren voor mij de soort van soundtrack van mijn jeugd. Die zit er gewoon in. En die singeltjes, en ik heb ze hier liggen, ik ga ze straks ook nog even laten zien. Ja, daar is het allemaal een beetje mee begonnen. Ja, dus daar begon een beetje de gitaren voor mij.
Ja, en nu mogen we met haar praten. In april komt haar soloalbum Fierce Bliss uit. 11 songs staat erop, originals en ook hele bijzondere covers. Ann Wilson, hello. So nice to be able to speak to you right now. We're a little bit starstruck. We also have to say that.
Yeah.
We just told our listeners that when we were about 13, 14 years old, we grew up with you. We're 56 right now. So both of us. So you are a companion for us through our entire life, our musical life. So that's why we're very happy to talk to you. And congratulations on your new album.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm real pleased with it.
Yeah, the release is, I thought, 29th of April. Yes. Mm-hmm. And what was the reason to start a new solo album?
Well, both my sister Nancy and I are doing solo careers right now. And we do that in order to go out and expand our abilities as musicians and singers, you know. We go out and we get more experience doing other things, and then we bring it back to heart. So, you know, during the pandemic quarantine time, we weren't going out of the house or doing anything. So I had months and months and months just to sit and write with no chaos and no, didn't have to do anything, you know. So I had peace and quiet, and I wrote a bunch of songs. So, you know, I thought, well, I better go record them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what do you mean when you say bringing it back to heart?
Well, next year is Heart's 50th anniversary. And we have an event planned for that. And so I don't yet know exactly what it's going to be like because it's such early days. But yeah, Heart will live again. And
it's 50th anniversary. Wow.
Yeah.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Because I think because that you and your sister, when doing things solo, apart from each other, your sister's touring with Nancy Wilson's Heart, and people were a bit worried.
Oh yeah, but the thing is that we have to lead the way in our own lives and careers, and so we'll do this and we'll fulfill ourselves and challenge ourselves, and then we'll come back. You know, people don't really have to worry. It's only rock and roll.
But I like it.
Yes, also. Well, let's talk about the album then. Fears Bliss. What does it stand for?
Well, the title just tells how I felt when I was making it. Really, I had such a good time and met really great new people, and it was like bliss. And then I thought, well, this is rock and roll bliss, so it's fierce, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
I just had a great time.
Yeah. I can imagine when there are 2 quiet years that you have to be searching a little bit for where's the fierce in me. When you're sitting at home, for instance, and
yeah,
where's my stage personality?
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Like, what do I wear, you know, if I'm not on stage?
Yeah. What do you wear when you're not on stage?
Probably a T-shirt. Same as everybody else, you know.
Yeah. But the songs have, at least the ones I heard, have a rough guitar in it. Is it because of the isolation or because of the pandemic?
As a reaction.
Well,
as a reaction, yes.
To a large. Yeah. The guitar on Fierce Bliss is true rock guitar, and it's because of Tom Bukovac, my guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
He is such a great rock guitarist. So I think that the roughness is because he knows how to do that.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
It took me back to the 70s hard, not the 80s hard, but the 70s hard. And I thought, yes,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, me too. I like it a lot.
Yeah. How did you meet?
I'd written all these songs during the pandemic time and I wanted to record them. So I took the demos and went down to Muscle Shoals Studios in Alabama, the famous Fame studio. And it was kind of a bucket list thing of mine that I wanted to do at some point in my career. Went in there, met all these really great musicians and made Fierce Bliss, it had a lot to do with that vibey studio of Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, the environment also makes the atmosphere of the album.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, yeah.
But
there's all kinds of special guests on there: Kenny Wayne Sheppard, Warren Haynes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really great.
And what
really good
and that it sounds so edgy as you mentioned and Mike mentioned as a kind of reaction to some quiet years. When you listen to it now, are you happy? Are you excited? Are you proud?
Oh, I'm thrilled. Yeah.
Yeah.
All those things. And this is my first solo album where I've written so many songs, so many originals on it. In the past, my 2 other solo albums are all covers, so This is the first time. 7 out of the 11 songs are new originals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw some clips of you performing at Hampton Beach, and I saw you communicating with the band and as a real director of the show, as a real front woman. How did that was about 3 months ago? That must have felt great.
Yeah, that was last fall.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really great. That's when the band and I were just getting to know each other and breaking in the thing that we call Ann Wilson and the Amazing Dawgs.
Yeah.
That Hampton Beach show was a real milestone for us.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to be on the road with all those youngsters?
Yeah, I know, it's great. It's great. They really challenged me, and none of them really need me. Each one has a career on his own, but when we come together, it's just really powerful.
I saw you performing "Greed," for instance, a great song on this album. Can you tell us more about why did you write it like this? What's about the issue greed for you?
Yeah, for me, it's a very deep systemic problem, not only for individuals but for our culture. Everybody just wants more and more and more. For instance, the war that's happening now over in Ukraine has a lot to do with greed, just never being satisfied with what you have, but always wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote the song on a personal level and on a more cultural level.
Yeah, greed is empty, you say. Well, we
Yes.
grew up with, the Wall Street slogan, greed is good.
Yes,
So that's a
that's
reaction
right,
to that. But you can also say that greed also has empowerment, ambition. If there were nothing, if everybody thought that everything is okay in their lives right now, there wouldn't be art.
That's true, yeah. But there's a fine line between greed and just expressing yourself. If the camera points at you and you can't look away from it, that's different from just looking good on a camera. That's being greedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's also a great rock song. And you have these
Yes.
unique Ann Wilson cry outs in it. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have said in the past that I write better when I'm angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, Barracuda is an example of me
Yeah.
being angry when I wrote a song. I think that that now it's more about just about nations and things in the material world. I think that's where greed really shows itself.
Yeah. Are you still angry?
Of course, yes, of course.
Yeah.
There's so much inequity in the world, and and just especially in the topic of women in rock or in business, they still have to fight to be taken credibly.
Yeah, still right now, but you could say that since the 70s there must have been a lot of change. There are more women in control right now in the music business.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great to watch it turning around. There's so many young women now that are writing songs and having big careers and doing really great work.
Yeah.
And that needs to continue, and women should never think that just because they're women that they deserve a place in rock. They have to be good. They have to really be honestly talented, I think. Yeah. It's not good enough just to be a woman.
Yeah. What were your lessons the last 50 years on that topic?
On the topic of equality, I'd say equality is where you force it to be. I mean, if you require to be treated like an equal, that's your best shot at it, I think.
Yeah. Do you have, from the singers, the female singers in rock, do you have any favorites nowadays?
I like Lizzie Hale.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Billie Eilish. Most of my influences have been men, honestly. Men, like male singers. But I have a long career of like decades of liking different singers. I started with Janis. I went to Rod Stewart, to Ian Gillan, to, Elton John, all the way up to today's modern artists.
About one of those singers, Paul Stanley of Kiss, ranked you in the top 11 of his favorite singers. Did you read that?
Yeah.
And
that was very, very flattering.
Yeah. You didn't think, why am I not number one?
No, I did not think that.
Okay, it's flattering. So it does mean something to you?
Well, I just think that it's kind of hard to believe it when people say the best singer in the world, it's just it's so wrong, because there's so many incredible, powerful, beautiful singers that are unknowns, like I just hesitate to ever say the best in the business or something. And because right when you say that, there's somebody new who just blows you out of the room.
Yeah.
I like to try and stay humble.
We're looking at each other now.
Yeah. Your question, Mike. You brought some records.
Yeah, I brought some records with me. When I was a little boy, I taped the charts, and songs who went in those charts are those two, and you know them. It's my soundtrack from the 70s, Crazy on You and Barracuda. You talked about 50 years of Heart. Next year is the anniversary. Do you have any idea, or is the idea so fresh that you don't know anything about it right now?
It's such early days, and we know we want to do something, and we know like a real rough idea of what it could be, but there are no locked plans yet. We're still looking for days, and we're looking for venues and stuff like that. So when it happens, like, you'll be the first to know, like when we have real solid information.
Yeah. Because you've worked in Heart with so many musicians. I'm so curious which one is going to make it to the anniversary party.
Well, my idea is all of them.
Oh.
Like everyone who's ever been in Heart would show up, and there'd be some kind of a show where each incarnation of Heart gets up and plays, And it's such wide diversity. I mean, there's Mike Inez from Alice in Chains, played bass for a couple of years. Gilby Clarke from Guns N'
Guns N'
Roses was
Roses,
in the
yeah.
band for a while, for a couple of years. The 80s lineup with Denny Carmassi and Mark Andes, and then the different lineups that have been together all through the 2000s. And of course, the original lineup from the 70s.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. I mean,
So-
we've had a lot of guitar players for sure.
It's a
That's
wall of
the- that's the
guitars.
instrument.
That's going to be.
Yeah.
And still friends with everyone.
Yeah, yeah, we are. There's nobody who hates us, I don't think. I think we all just are adult enough to go, well, what happened, and we moved on from each other. But now here's a chance to get together and celebrate what we all did.
Yeah.
Looking forward
that's a
to
great
it.
thing. Yeah. About the album, about Fierce Bliss. What are your plans? Also touring. You take your band also to Europe, maybe.
Yes.
Oh.
That's our plan, is to bring the band, the Amazing Dawgs and me, to Europe this fall and winter. And we're all getting our passports ready and renewed and all that. So it's going to be real.
The new album, Fears Bliss, has a couple of your own songs on it. 29th of April is the release date. Are you a little nervous what people think about the songs you have written?
Oh, of course. Yes, always. They're like children. The songs are like children to me, and I hope people love them. But if they don't, that's their choice. I'm pretty sure that people will find something on there that they like. I mean, there's a really killer version of Missionary Man, the Eurythmics song.
Oh yes, yeah.
We just made a really big production out of it with a gospel choir and Kenny Wayne Sheppard playing guitar. And yeah, there are a bunch of really cool songs on there, whether you like my songs or whether you like one of the 4 covers.
Yeah.
There's something for everybody,
Yeah.
I think.
How did you choose the covers? Love of My Life, for instance, also with Vince Gill. He's a country singer.
Yeah. Yes, he is. My voice is kind of rock and roll and a little bit raspy and stuff. So I wanted the man to be an angel, to have the voice of an angel.
Oh,
so
he is.
there's only one guy, and it had to be Vince, you know.
Yeah. Was he surprised when you asked him?
I can't tell you that. I don't know. I think he might have been a little bit, because it's somebody from a different musical genre reaching out to him. But he's so humble, and the basic fact is that he's just a musician, and I'm just a musician. So we don't have to stay inside the genre pigeonholes. We can cross at will.
Yeah. What were you singing in the same room, or was it also
Yes.
from the? Oh wow, that's a special thing.
So many people are going digital, and they're sending files around, and somebody in New York sings their part, and then somebody in San Francisco sings their part. But on this record, we were all in the same room, physically looking at each other. And Vince came, and we had 2 mics, and we sang the song together with the band playing, and it was great.
So much better for the interaction. So much.
Oh yeah. It was the real thing.
The artwork is quite colorful. Can you tell us something about that?
Yes. Well, we intend to release Fierce Bliss on vinyl as well.
Beautiful.
And so I got to thank you. I got to thinking, how great would it be to be able to put on the vinyl record and hold the vinyl sleeve with great artwork on it that you can check out and look at and examine while the music's playing. Because I had many years of experience with that way back when. So I thought, well, who would be the best artist to do like sort of a retro album cover? And I thought, well, Roger Dean, because I always used to love the work he did for Yes and Asia.
Yeah. You see that vibe in it also.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I got in touch with Roger Dean, and I told him the album title, and he really liked it. So he sent me back a few ideas, and one of them was this piece called Parrot on Ice. And that's the idea of his that became the album cover.
Okay.
It's very much a fantasy it's like another world where you go into, you know, it's not about reality. It's just about somewhere else, you know.
Yeah. A place where you might be taken to?
Yeah, and escape, or just like a parallel universe or something. I think what's interesting is that you've got this exotic tropical hot weather bird sitting on top of an ice floe, and there's this kind of weird juxtaposition of elements there. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I can see the inspiration on your face right now. That's great to watch. Great to watch. And we in Holland we also have a great, well, how would you call that? We have a lot of good female rock singers, metal singers.
Yes.
Do you know any of them? Is that also known in the States?
I don't, but I'm looking forward to meeting people when we come over.
Okay.
Like especially if we get to play some of the festivals, you know, where there are a lot of musicians and it's like a crossroads for musicians. I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. There is a singer, Floor Jansen from Nightwish, who covered Alone. That's a beautiful version of that song. So maybe you can look it up and enjoy it.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah. She's great. Yeah. Is there a message where when we talk to people, we're gonna meet Ann Wilson tonight? Oh wow! Oh, she's been an inspiration. Oh, I play. You hear that all the time, of course. But is there something you would like to say to the fans, to the people that have been following you through decades, and are very faithful and. Still with you, and are also like Mike and me very happy that what you're telling us now about the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I want to say to all those fans, I call them listeners.
Yeah.
That I want to say to all those listeners is how indebted I feel to them. I know in my soul that if they hadn't have been there all those decades and been loyal and actually connected to the music, then I probably wouldn't be here now, because I'd just be in my room somewhere singing into a hairbrush if it wasn't for them. So, and that'd be fine too, but I certainly wouldn't have had the beautiful experience in my life to go out and sing for people and connect with them on a large level. So I have a lot of gratitude for the people who've been with us all these years. And I hope to continue to not let them down.
Well, there's a lot of gratitude at this side.
Yeah.
And Wilson.
And that's why whenever I go in to make a record, it has to be the real thing. It has to be something new and something real.
Yes.
I'm never just going to repeat myself.
Well, thank you very much, Anne, for this interview. And Suzanne and I
are looking forward to
see you on tour here
already
in
enjoying
Holland.
what we heard from the album and looking forward to seeing you live playing on the European stages. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, great.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. You're both very lovely people. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. There's one thing I would like to ask you. Would you like to do a station call for us?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. We are called the Keiharde Pödcast.
Hi, this is Ann Wilson, and you're listening to the Keiharde Pödcast.
That's
Thank
lovely.
You very much.
Thank you very much for your time. A lot of success with all the other interviews you have to do, and a lot of fun with going on stage.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
NPO Radio 2.